Good evening, everyone. I hope everybody has had an amazing weekend, even if the weather was a little bit questionable at times. I really wanted to share with you today some insights. So I've been really busy over the last few weeks. I will be sharing a bit more about what I'm working on in due course, but the key thing that I think I really benefited was from an event called the Virtual Coach Expo. And it was a 3-day event. All the speakers are pretty much based in the United States. So it's an interesting one because effectively the event started at 5:30 in the evening over 3 days and didn't finish UK time until about 2 o'clock in the morning. But it was a fantastic event, and I got to hear from some absolutely incredible speakers, the likes of Gabby Bernstein, Les Brown, Dean Graziosi, Jack Canfield, and some new names that I had never even heard of before, Suzanne Evans, Anthony Trucks, and they had some absolutely amazing info, and I learned so much from it. But I wanted to actually give you, I wanted to actually share some of those insights that I had. And funnily enough, a lot of what they were talking about, as well as practical side of marketing, was about mindset. And as many of you probably already, hopefully, are aware from some of the videos and things that I've shared with you before, one of the key focuses in which I am wanting to share with you through SLJ consultancy and through doing the videos, etc., is about mindset. And for me, as I've shared with you, mindset is one of the absolute most fundamental things for everybody. It's not just specifically at business owners and entrepreneurs. I think over the last 12 plus months, we've all had our mindset challenged in a number of different ways. We have had to adapt and change to the way that we would live. Many of us have been working from home. Obviously the children haven't been at school. I appreciate they're back now. Shops have been shut. We've literally been confined effectively to our homes, other than really for a bit of exercise outside. And it's a very different way to living, and that has put no doubt on many different people in many different ways a strain. And that could be whether it's in relation to your family and your relationship, or whether it's your business or your job. Ultimately, there's been pressure, and we've all had to find ways in which we can cope. We have had to make adjustments in terms of how we approach things and how we think about things. And I know from my personal experience, my life has, as I've shared to you before, has changed completely. And it's funnily enough, it was my uncle that shared this line with me, and I absolutely love it. And I instead of turning around and saying my life has turned upside down, he says it's turned the right way up. And I would agree with that, in terms of, I've gone through a huge learning curve over the last 12 months. I've changed massively as a person. I feel like I have really grown as a person. I feel like I actually feel good about who I am. And that's where what I'm doing in relation to SLJ consultancy is I want to make a difference. I want to help people. I want to help business owners. I want to help entrepreneurs. And one of the key ways in which I do that is by helping in relation to mindset. And I just wanted to share with you some of the kind of insights, like I said, in relation to this event that I attended last week. And I think there were so many powerful lines that came from these speakers that I was just literally, and sometimes it's actually what should be obvious, but sometimes we just simply need a reminder of these things. And one of the things that Jack Canfield had said, and I don't know whether, some of you may never have heard of Jack Canfield. One of the things that I frequently talk about is the law of attraction and the book The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. The book The Secret basically details what the law of attraction is, and in essence it's about positivity attracting positivity, negativity attracts negativity. There's obviously a lot more to it than that, but that's in essence what it is. And within that book there is a number of different contributors, and one of them is Jack Canfield. So one of the things that he turned around and said during this talk, which I found really quite empowering, I guess. And sometimes, like I said, it's just the obvious things that we don't necessarily always realize. And it is, you need to take 100% responsibility for your life and your results. It's not about what other people do in your life or what they potentially do to you. It's about you accepting responsibility. And he used this particular equation, and it says E plus R equals O. And that is event plus your response. So whether it's your thought, your pictures, your behavior, your images, whatever it is, equals your outcome. So for example, if something bad in your life happens, is how you respond to it, which is absolutely fundamental. So if you respond to it with anger and frustration, and you then take it out on somebody else, for example, that's going to then dictate what result. Now, obviously, we are all ultimately human beings. We all have feelings. We all have emotions. But one of the things that my life coach in particular has taught me about is learning how to not react, but respond. Often when something happens, we have that immediate reaction, which is this explosion. And actually, that often can do more damage than, whereas sometimes what we need to do is just take that moment, take a step back and actually think. And I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. So for me, one of the things, and this is something that I really believe what Jack Canfield was saying was correct, is blaming. And he said it as a response, but actually I'm going to change the wording slightly and say blaming is a reaction. And it actually makes you powerless. It doesn't make you feel any better by blaming somebody else for something that's happened in your life. You have to take responsibility. Yes, there are certain things that happen that we cannot control, of course, but you can still accept responsibility in terms of how you respond to that event, rather than necessarily having that worst case reaction. And I found that, to me, was, it's something, like I say, that's so obvious, but actually is so beneficial. And another person who I really find inspiring, and I speak to a couple of friends about this particular person on a frequent basis, and that's Les Brown. Les Brown is a very good and a very inspiring motivational speaker. And one of the things that he said, and actually it's a phrase that I've heard before, and it was what my life coach actually shared with me, and that is, you get in life what you are. And I'm just going to leave that with you to have a think about it. But Les Brown also was talking about, in terms of that self-belief and believing in what you can actually achieve. And the one thing I think actually a couple of speakers particularly talked about, and that is external influences. And the one thing I think that I would really want you to take away, hopefully, from what I'm sharing with you, is someone's opinion of you does not need to be your reality. Now, sometimes it can be used in a positive way, in the fact that sometimes if you've got somebody who is in your corner, who is really rooting for you, and hopefully everyone here has somebody that's rooting for them. You know, you should root for yourself, of course you do, but sometimes it's hard to find that self-belief in yourself. And this is also something that Les Brown said. Sometimes you have to believe someone else's belief in you until you believe it yourself. I think that is actually incredibly powerful because, you know, I know that I've got people who, you know, will often say to me, Sarah, you can do this. You know, we believe in you. We know that you can, you know, you can achieve what you're striving for. And actually, sometimes if you have that moment of self-doubt, use what other people believe in you. That's if it's in a positive way. So don't let somebody's negative belief in you hold you back. It's making sure that you take note of what is positive rather than what is negative. And I think that, to me, is something that I find really, truly quite powerful. And I think it also, this self-belief also ties in terms of fear and limiting beliefs and your fear of what could go wrong. And there's this really powerful quote that often I probably put up, and that is about, don't fear what could go wrong, think about what could go right. And it's about twisting something that could be negative into a positive. Do the uncomfortable action. And these were things that Dean Graziosi was talking about. And I 100% agree with it. The amount of times I've said to my clients, you know, you have to get used to feeling comfortable with feeling uncomfortable. And I just thought that some of those things might hopefully resonate with you and might just kick something off in your mind in terms of about you feeling whether you believe in yourself, whether you are listening to the right people, whether you are feeling positive, whether you feel like you have the support in your corner. And as I said, the main reason why I started SLJ Consultancy is because I want to help businesses. I want to make a difference. I want businesses to thrive, not just survive. And this is part of the reason why I have recently launched what is called Business Wisdom Wednesday. And every Wednesday I am doing an event. It's completely free of charge. And basically I'm going to be utilising that. It's all done through Zoom. So anybody can participate, even if you're not on Facebook, if you're not on social media, it doesn't matter. All you need is to be able to, is basically to be able to use Zoom. That's it. And it starts literally on this Wednesday. It's at 6 o'clock. If you want to take part, all you've got to do is literally click on the Eventbrite link. Like I said, it's completely free. I'm going to be focusing on this week, again, more on the mindset side, but also it's an opportunity for you to ask me questions about, you know, in terms of any struggles that you're having. And there'll be an element of a hot seat content. So if you've got questions, it's really an opportunity to have that direct communication. It's, like I say, it's a complete free event. All you need to do is click the Eventbrite link, and you'll then get you'll get the login details for the Zoom event. So I really hope to see some of you at the event on Wednesday. It's a weekly event. There'll be different topics, and I really hope the whole purpose of it is to give as much benefit and value and content and hints and tips to you guys. So I hope you've benefited from some of the hints and tips I have shared with you this evening, and I hopefully look forward to seeing you at Business Wisdom Wednesday on Wednesday. So thanks for listening. I hope, like I said, hope you've had some benefit, and have a great evening, everyone. Take care.